See, one thing in life you should gauge is who's your enemy, who's your friend. That is something which everyone should understand, put in effort, digest, and move forward. But when there is areas of your doubt, there are areas where you're unable to understand, that becomes deadly. So you understand, these are my friends. You understand, not enemies, but these are the people who are kind of my enemies. They don't agree with me for whatever reason. They dislike me, which is fine. But to have enemies in the garb of friends, that is deadly. This you must understand. So enemies in the garb of friends means they, for all purposes, they are your friends. You meet them every day. You are all the time with them. But what you don't understand is not only they talk against you, even if they talk against you is fine, but they're constantly bringing you down. They're constantly giving you suggestions which are detrimental to your growth. And what do these people do? They keep on feeding you with your ego. They keep on feeding you with your conceit. You already have an ego. You already have conceit. They keep on feeding you. Even if something is not is detrimental for you, they say, no, go ahead. And you are so naive, you follow them. So Shakespeare says, beware of enemies. He doesn't say beware of friends. Huh? He says beware of enemies. And there are some scriptures who say, beware of your friends, not enemies. Because beware of your friends means, see, it seems as though it's two-toned. It's not two-toned. Beware of your friends means find out, are they your friends? They could be your friends, but they are in the garb of your friends, they are your enemies. So, two deadly enemies which appear as friends to your mind. One is ego, the second one is conceit. Remember this. Ego and conceit. Ego of your individuality. What is ego? An exaggerated opinion of yourself, which you believe to be your title, you believe to be your status, you yourself believe to be, no, this is my bank balance. This is who I am. So that ego is constantly driving you to a destination which is ultimately going to isolate you. See, from birth, you must understand. In fact, you're born because of your ego. Since you are ignorant of your true self, you take birth as this individuality. So this individuality is consolidated further, but at birth itself, you have this ego. And as you grow up, your friends, your families, they keep on feeding you with your individuality. Oh, how nice you look. Such pretty hair you have. My God. Lovely. What do you, this nose, no? You can, I think if you do a nose job, no? My God. And you fall for this. No one will ever say, look at this person. Huh? What a wise person this is. No one will, no, when I say no one means not that no one, there are few who will say that. Look at this person, how brilliant this person is. Increase the awareness of your knowledge. No one will tell you that, but they'll say increase, augment your beauty, augment your wealth, augment your conceit. So it's a false word. And why do we harp on these classes? Why do we harp on study? Why do we harp on keeping in touch with the subject? Is because you are constantly living in an environment where it sucks you. See, you have to be a stalwart. Believe me, you have to be a stalwart to live in an environment and not be affected. You can achieve that at a later stage. But you have to be a stalwart to live in an environment and nothing affects you. It's not possible. The world is meant to affect you. So what does study do? What do these classes do? Study only keeps on churning the intellect. Study keeps on making you clear. Thinking keeps on making you clear. Analysis keeps on making you more precise. Reading, reflection keeps on making you very, very crisp. You have a pause in your life. And not a long pause. Huh? Some people are saying, so I've taken a sabbatical. Oh, is it? What is sabbatical? 5 years I've taken a sabbatical. Wife and children are screaming here, sir, he's constantly taking a sabbatical. It's not about tamas. It's a mature pause in your life where you have streamlined your obligations, but you've taken a pause to find out the next step. My next endeavor has to be in a particular direction, which is different from the past. If you fall down from, into Niagara Falls or any fall, let's say Ganges, it is such a powerful pressure. It keeps on pushing you. It keeps on pushing you. And you have no time to think. So this is what the world does to you. So in the world, when you're in the world, it doesn't allow time to pause, time to think. How will you have time to pause and think? Find out what's happening to your children. Kindergarten, lower KG, higher KG, primary school, secondary school, primary college, secondary college. Constant pressure. There's constant pressure. And then what? Then again in the school or colleges, they'll find few partner or whatever. And then a rut. Then a rut, or you may call the rat race, or getting married. And please understand, there's nothing wrong with all these things. But you merely doing it just to fulfill and someone else's view, that makes no sense. But if you have something which you have to do it for yourself, you do it. But merely doing it for someone else's sake has no meaning. So then what? After what? After that, job. Then the job pressure. So you are basically in the world, you're functioning basically based on all that you have carried from your past. And the education you have, the education just makes you proficient. Education makes you, even if you're a stalwart, let's say, someone told me the other day, sir, my brother is a child prodigy. At 14, he wrote a book and he was called by an American university, free of cost for education. So even if you're brilliant, what you must understand is you only have that education with reference to the subject. But what about your life? Your life has got no meaning because everything else is an imbalance. See, in your life, everything is an imbalance because you have never put in effort to learn this knowledge. So how will you counter anything? How will you counter your partner? How will you answer your children? How will you face your bosses? So there's constant pressure and you are being held on a thin, very, very thin leash. Either you are held on a leash, a very thin leash, or you are hanging by a very, very slim thread. Anytime it may snap. So you will find every day there is some agitation. You get irritated by something. And these agitations mount up. Suddenly they'll burst. So it's a grave situation. See, I'm not trying to scare you all. I'm only trying to make you all aware so that your children don't fall into this trap. A lot of people say sometimes, sir, it is a brilliant lecture. I don't care whether the lecture is brilliant or no. All I want to know is whether you all have understood the graveness of the situation. Where are you all heading? What are you all doing? Because you all don't have the time to pause. You don't have the time to just step back and reflect, step back and think. As I mentioned, this constant pressure. So the two deadly friends which appear as friends but they're enemies, ego and conceit. And this ego and conceit, they constantly push your mind to create a self-defense mechanism. So that anyone says anything which you don't like, you throw it out. It's a self-defense mechanism. No true master will ever slight anyone. Masters are not here to slight. Masters will just speak the truth. You may like it, you may not like it. So suppose if you say, this is the only class, this is the only forum where we are talking about the intellect, there is nowhere else in the world where it talks about the intellect. We're not here to bask in the glory and disparage other institutions. We're not here to do that. We are just here to tell you the facts. So the ego and conceit creates a self-defense mechanism. So anything who says anything against which you don't like, you throw it out. So, my dear friends, do you realize? Do you realize what is deadly for you? Think. Whatever is good for you, it appears in the garb of poison. And whatever is bad for you, it appears in the garb of sugar, sweetness. So it's not your fault. See, whatever is good, whatever is bad for you, it's appearing in a good form. What will you choose? Suresh Bhai, what will you choose? Everything in the world is like that. It appears in the form of, wow, instantly let me get it. Instant noodles. Let's take it about physical body, physical level. My mother constantly says, Arey, don't eat leftover food. I mean, we are trained that way. On previous night, we don't waste, but we won't eat it. There's a meaning, yatayama. Yatayama means any food which is more than 3 hours, it's putrid. I mean, today, of course, there are there's method of seeing once in a while. Suppose if you want to marinate something and have, it's a different thing. But constantly, there's this culture of frozen food. In the US, you'll find, cook everything for 1 week and put it in the freezer. Frozen chapatis, frozen this. That's why the brains are frozen. Everything is frozen then. Emotions are also frozen. So, what is good for you, it appears as poison. I remember Meghna telling me, of course, I met Meghna after a long time in Bombay. And she said, that time she said, hello, sir. Oh, you are, yeah, okay. I'm telling her, no, you must come to the academy. Oh, academy? Achha. She only smiled, okay. She must be saying internally, who is this mad fellow telling me come to the academy? Firstly, why is he gone? He himself is mad. He's left everything and gone there. But she's smiling. She was just smiling that time. But in turn, she's saying, mad fellow, he doesn't he's asking me to come to the academy. Then later on, she tells me, sir, suddenly I thought of you. I think 2-3 years back, she reconnected from somewhere. God knows from where she landed. Boom. Oh, no, sir, I was just thinking of you and what you told me that time I should have followed. Only after marriage, they realize. She's got married, child, everything. Now she's realized, that man told me I should have listened to him. Next to, see, what you must understand is your friend, your guide could be living next to you. Both of us live next to each other. Used to live next to each other. But it seems as though North Pole and South Pole. This is life. Life is like that. Your benefactor could be living in your house, but you go somewhere else. Your enemy could be living miles away, thousands of miles away, but you want to connect to that. The paradox of life, the irony of life. It's interesting. And you may say, so why is this? Prayagji, why is this? Because it is not so for animals. This is what you must understand. This paradox, this irony, this dual-toned life, as it were, this so-called, life with a masquerade. Everybody has a masquerade. You all understand what a masquerade is? It's all, only, see, that's why they say, you don't fall in love with a person's looks, because you may be with a person who has a masquerade on, and you fall in love with the person. Why? Because ultimately it's the feelings which touch you. It's nothing but an attachment. But everything in the world comes like that. It's a masquerade. So, in case of animals, they don't have the tendency to pick up anything which goes against their nature. Their lives are so streamlined by whoever's done it. It's a beautiful job. No vegetarian animals, no herbivorous animals will be eating meat. No carnivorous animals which be eating herbage. Not possible. Those who eat herbage will eat herbage. Those who eat meat will eat meat. It can never happen the other way. So their lives are set. See, do you realize even the way they eat? If you see a cow, whenever you see a cow, constantly chewing. That's the nature of the cow. There are humans in the form of, there are cows, there are humans in the form of cows also. Whenever you see that person constantly chewing. Something, a guy in Bombay, every time he has to have something in his mouth. So he's like, just now we eaten good food now. Then he has supari khao. Supari, please have supari. He'll give me one. This is good for digestion. Then after that, then he'll have some juice. Then after that, he'll have some tea. With tea, he'll have some biscuit. Nasta. They get nasta. Constantly eating like cows. So, animals are set. Humans, nothing is set. Because humans have been gifted this gift which has never been disclosed to humans. It is given. The gift is given, but it's not disclosed. It's like your friend has given you a Patek Philippe watch and is lying in your cupboard, unopened, because you've not bothered. Because you have never expected that guy. This fellow, what he'll give? He must have given some cut glass, some crystal. Keep it inside. Later on, you'll see. Then, when once you open it, my God, where did this come? Mridul, ye kahan se aaya? I don't know. That fellow gave. Because he wanted to do something good for you, and he gave that. And suddenly you discover. Same thing with the intellect. This is what you are doing. A gift has been given to you at birth. Suddenly you've realized after 30 years, 35 years, 40 years, my God, this is what I have. And still, if you don't use it, vinashti means loss. Mahati vinashti means greatest of all losses. After coming this far, if you still don't use your intellect, it's gone. So everything for a human being comes in the form of a dual tone, a tone which is actually not palatable to you all in the beginning. Like poison in the beginning, nectar in the end. Nectar in the beginning, poison in the end. Because you have this gift of the intellect by which you have to choose. This is life. And everything in the world, as it were, is so-called, they created for your destruction. Easy loans. Find out, take loans. Supplements. There's a video, there's a channel, Vion, whatever that, Vion channel or whatever. There's a video on supplements and all this, how these supplements, instead of food, you see, you don't want to eat vegetables, but you eat these supplements. How they damage your liver. You don't want to eat natural protein, you want to keep on overdoing on protein shakes, overdoing everything. Keep on finding anybody. You go to the gym, no? Whenever you go to the gym, suppose you go to the gym, it's a style. Either you're on the mobile and you're shaking something like that. They keep on shaking. It's just how you find out. So you go, they'll take they're on the phone, this, that, and keep on shaking something. Or outside when they're going, they'll keep on shaking. What is too much focus, so much. So ego and conceit, they're like two cousins. Ego and conceit is nothing but from the same family. You can interchangeably use, one is ego, one is conceit. But in this context, we're using the ego for the individuality which you gain by birth, and conceit for you augmented by becoming aware of this individuality most constantly. So what has happened? It creates a self-defense mechanism where everything which is thrown at you, even something which is good thrown at you, you reject it. If it does not like, if you don't agree with that, that's the problem. So when the masters, you like, even teachers, you like sweet. See, today, religion has come to convenience religion. It's become convenient religion. So if you like what the master is saying, you take it. If you don't like the master, you discard the master. Hey, this fellow, he doesn't understand. So what are the masters? The masters are also smart. They want the following. What do? They agree with you everything. Anything you say, excellent. So I met so many, 2-3 masters I met. Amazing how they talk. There's one master, one guy I met. He said, "So you have to meet my guru." I said, "Yeah, of course I'll meet you." And no, he was the one who showed me the way. I said, "Is it okay?" No, I started construction, and then he told me, "Go on making buildings, beta. Go on making buildings. And as you're making buildings, and when you get money, make a little bit for the poor also. Take slum rehabilitation schemes." As though some rocket science he's teaching. His nature is to make buildings. He's going on making buildings. What is the big deal in that? So convenient. Religion today also has become very convenient. So if anyone is going along with you, you like it. But no true master will give you advice unless you go to him or her, unless you call him or her, unless you want to know, "Sir, what should I do?" No true master will ever call you up and say, "Hello, how are you? Acha, should I give you a suggestion?" No. If you want to know, you have to go, because it won't work. It will never work. So, friends, all we are trying to say is, be careful of the self-defense mechanism of the mind. The mind creates these barriers for you, especially if you don't like something. So then what should you do? The moment if you don't like something, I would not reject it. I would wait. I would not reject it. Maybe this is something good for my health. Maybe this is something good for my growth. Someone who talks to you in a crooked way. Maybe that fellow has, because why will he talk that? Why will she talk that? He has my interest. So people, your true friends, will always be self-correcting. They'll correct you. This is not the way you should do it. Mridul, I don't think this is right. But those who are not interested in you, they will just go along. See, these sports people, these cricketers who have gained fame, or actors and actresses, you know who their true friends are? Their true friends are from the non-cricketing world. Their true friends, some of them, I'm talking about the cultured ones, their true friends are from the non-shimmering world. They're not from Bollywood. They are small, where they get a kick. Their school friends. Because they can be themselves with them. A person who's cultured, he looks beyond all these paraphernalia. He looks beyond all these looks and goes to your real personality. In fact, if you just be simple, if you just be simple, go at least once try. Just see how you look. This bangle, red sari, red bindi, red emerald set, red watch, red shoes. No, I'll go in the red car. Red band. You'll have some 10 bands to watch. complicate your life. All your time goes in that. Who cares? So, your real friends, you will always spend time where you can truly, don't you say, I want to go and unwind something. There's a girl who I know, she says, I want to go to my mother's house after marriage. She said, I want to go to my mother's house. So I asked her why? Because I want to put my legs up and aram se sit. Put my legs up and sit. I said, why don't you sit in your, no, my in-laws are there. In front of my in-laws, I can't put my leg. I said, lock your, when your mother-in-law is gone for a bath, that time you put your legs up. No, I can't. I don't feel very comfortable. Everything I'm judged at, they'll look at me. They'll say, acha, now she's putting her legs up. Huh? Mother's house, I can put my legs up, I can put my legs down. I can do whatever I want. If the in-laws make the daughter-in-law feel just as a daughter, what? She can put her legs up, she can put her legs down, she can do whatever she wants. But no, the in-laws will have, daughter-in-law, no, she has to have such expectation. So the higher you go, the simpler you want, you get joys in simple things. Especially if you're a celebrity and you can't go out where everything you go, people are waiting for you. Simple things you go. See, look at life. Again, this is also ironical. Again, when you don't have fame, you want it. And when you get fame, you don't want it. It's amazing how it functions. See, when you don't have fame, you want fame. And when you get fame, you said, how many people. See, Diana died. Yeah, she was chased by the paparazzis or whatever. She died. You find all these hawks taking long lenses. Don't you see this? If a lady wants to go, if she's a celebrity, she wants to just go for a swim with her husband, she can't go. There's a long lens of cameramen standing somewhere, clicking. Look at the thinking. Why is that? Because there's a demand. There's a demand for that. So everything is a world like that. It's ulta, warped. And what you do is, you go into that, fall into a trap. The mind creates a trap. What I want you to analyze is the mind is constantly creating a trap for you, going against you, moving against you. Why? Because you have nurtured the mind. You have not kept the mind in its place. No likes, no dislikes. Whatever you like, filter it. Yes, I like this, filter it. How much is it good for me? Whatever I dislike, filter that. No, even if I dislike this is good for me. I need to have that. So the intellect is the filtration plant. See, the sewage from the world, world is nothing but a sewage. Everything comes inside. It comes, everything, where does it go? It goes into the intellect. What is that? It's a sewage plant. It takes out all the unnecessary things, and the necessary things it filters through your mind. That's okay to have it. There's nowhere, no scripture says that you should not have the world. You can have anything in the world you want, but filter it through the intellect. So if you like it, have it. I like a drink. I was with my friends after a long time, No, I'm not talking about me. I'm saying you all must say. I fell with friends after a long time and said, I had 2-3 days. Tell yourself and have that. But you must understand what is happening to you. So don't fall a trap to the mind. The mind is creating a trap every day for you. Every minute, every second, the mind is only you, because you've nurtured the mind constantly. The mind is going against you. The mind is fielding things against you. But if you've not nurtured the mind, if you use your buddhi, if you've used the intellect as a filtration plant, and if you've educated the mind that this is what it is, like you educate the children, what is good, what is bad. If you do that, then you'll find there's a beautiful harmony. There's a harmony between the mind and intellect. So then there's no reason for you to fall to conceit. There's no reason for you to fall to conceit, ego, greed, all these negative tendencies.